Blame it on the wind, blame it on the rain, blame it on the long turf at Ryan Field. How many other excuses could we possibly come up with? Oh, yeah, early start. Blame it on the early start. Blame it on the Ohio State run game. The Buckeyes can't run the football. Welcome to the Voice of College Football halftime report from Evanston, Illinois, in what has become an intriguing matchup suddenly out of nowhere is a 38-point spread. Ohio State Northwestern knotted up at 7 at halftime on a day of tremendous matchups across college football, and typically the noon window provides us with the most. I was at a quandary to even check in on this game. I knew that the weather conditions were unfavorable for a pass-happy offense and a team that couldn't run against Iowa or against Penn State for most of the game. But still, Buckeyes, Northwestern hasn't won a game since August. The Northwestern Wildcats have lost 7 consecutive games, and those 7 consecutive losses include the likes of Southern Illinois and Miami of Ohio and a lot of bottom feeders in the Big Ten. They can't beat anybody, but they are tied with Ohio State at 7 at halftime. Atrocious effort by the Buckeyes on offense, particularly in the run game. The pass game, we can understand. You can understand to a certain extent, although it's understandable that you're not going to be prolific in the passing game with this kind of win, but CJ Stroud needs to learn how to control the football at a certain degree in these kind of conditions. We've seen other quarterbacks be able to adapt. I know most of those guys are on the NFL level, but we have seen college quarterbacks adapt to this kind of weather, and CJ Stroud is going to have to, possibly for the rest of November. Is every game windy and rainy? No, but key games can be, and this one is turning into a key game unexpectedly. And again, as we noted off the top, Buckeye excuses could include early start time, don't care much about the opponent, wind and rain, long grass, doesn't matter. It's Northwestern. They've been atrocious this year on both sides of the ball. We're talking about the 109th ranked rush defense in the country, number 109, number 105 in yards per play against, and number 99 up front, the dude with the long name that I will learn between now and when we do instant analysis post-game, has been a wrecking crew for Northwestern up front. The black shirts and the black jerseys for Northwestern have been phenomenal up front in stopping this Ohio State run game. I would give them even more credit had Ohio State been able to run the ball previously, but we saw the Iowa game, we saw the Penn State game, and we're seeing guard play in particular in the run game get blown up time and time again. The guards in this game, the entire offensive line is not performing in the run game. Tremendous pass protectors. So Northwestern has put together one drive, and that one drive right now is good enough to keep them in the game and actually have them playing from in front until late in the first half, of course, when the Buckeyes finally mounted something. Found it interesting, the story told by Todd Blackledge, because I'm a college football historian of sorts and love the history angle, but he pointed back to the senior game that he played his senior season when Penn State won the national championship. He and Dan Marino, I'm sure I watched this game at the time. I don't necessarily recall it. Blackledge on the Penn State side, Marino, Dan Marino on the Pitt side, 19-10 game, 29 points scored. So not a low scoring game to the nth degree, but not a prolific game for two great quarterbacks. And 29 points scored. And Todd Blackledge noted all the points in that game were scored with the team that had the ball with the back to the wind. So far in this game, we've had 14 points scored. Northwestern scored a touchdown in the first quarter. Ohio State scores just the one touchdown in the second quarter. Could not fully take advantage of having the wind at its back in the second quarter. Just the one decent touchdown drive, and otherwise the Buckeyes stopped time and time again on 3rd and short and 4th and short. Time and time again, Mayan Williams, despite all of his efforts to try to break free, he's tried to take it wide. He's tried to find a seam, They have tried every conceivable way in terms of a power running offense to find first down yardage. They've plowed it straight ahead. They've run motion. They've tried to overload one side to try to push through. They've tried to stretch play. They've done everything to try to create room for a running back on third or fourth and short. And time again now for 3 consecutive weeks, nothing. Just completely abysmal trying to run the football. Northwestern right now is outgaining Ohio State 117-72 on the ground. And let's be truthful and dissect where that 72 yards came from for the Buckeyes. And it came from C.J. Stroud. Think about this. Now, in the moment, this was a great play call by Ryan Day. The 4th and 1 play that led to the touchdown when C.J. Stroud kept the ball. Is this the first design running play for C.J. Stroud the entire season? He can run the ball. He can run the ball. You may need to do that against a particular team in 4 weeks. Heck, you may need to do it again today. So it was a good play call in the moment on 4th and 1 to fake it to Mayan Williams. Of course, have CJ break contain and get the 15 or 20 yards that he got for the first down. But it's not a good sign. It's not a good sign that Ohio State finally thought, okay, we're knocking our head up against a wall trying to run this ball between the tackles or in any such way from a traditional set with a running back. They're going to stop it. So we're going to have to trick them into a first down. So good play call in the moment, but not a good sign for the future. Not a good sign for this second half even. And then they created the running play to Emeka Egbuka. And this may be how Ohio State has to run the football against good teams or against anybody, even against a bad rushing offense or rushing defense. This right now is the Iowa offense running the football. And against this Northwestern team in these weather conditions, this is Ohio State trying to throw the football too. Not been pretty in any such way. Right now, this is what the team's got going for it, is they've got elite pass receivers and they've got a great pass protecting offensive line. And on this particular day, they have a quarterback who's a bit scattershot trying to throw the ball in these conditions. He'll throw a couple passes that'll look like C.J. Stroud. Then he'll throw the next 8 or 9 passes that look like Babe Loffenberg. Look him up, Dallas Cowboys. Awful. That's what I've got for you on this game. CJ started 0 for 5. And now I just have a bunch of notes of how dominant Northwestern's been up front and how dominant their running game has been in comparison. And the Buckeye defense is playing well. They're playing an awful offense, but they're playing well. They're making the plays. And I think the longer this game goes, the Ohio State defense, I think they're sensing that they not only have to shut down Northwestern, but they have to create havoc plays. They're creating all sorts of yards for loss kind of plays against this offense. So these are the kind of plays they're making. They haven't taken the ball away yet, but they're playing Ohio State kind of defense and playing the type of defense that we've seen that's been vastly improved. So the Buckeye defense, give them a A- for the first half because they did give up the one long touchdown drive. And we'll see if Northwestern can mount points here in the third quarter. Of course, they're going to have the wind here in the third quarter, which is a marked advantage in this game. It was key for the Wildcats that they got the first down on the Brendan Sullivan keeper on 3rd and 2, 90 seconds left in the first half because, of course, Ryan Day was trying to set up his offense to get the ball back. They had some juice, some momentum from the touchdown drive, get the ball back, take it home for the touchdown. But Northwestern keeps it 3rd and 2 converted. They keep the ball, run out the first half. And again, 117-72, the rushing advantage. And most of that 72 for the Buckeyes coming on 2 plays to a wide receiver, Emeka Egbuka on the end around. Without dissecting the play, it looked like an end around. It was a little more exotic than that. And then you got C.J. Stroud, of course, on the keeper. This does not bode well for the future. We've talked about this for a few weeks now here on our Buckeyes Live show that we present to you every Wednesday at 11 a.m. Eastern Time. Hope you can join us then. 11 a.m. Eastern Time Wednesday, Ohio State football talk with three of the best and myself. So just wanted to bring you an Ohio State look here at halftime. We typically don't do this. We've got TCU. This could be a big shakeup in the college football playoff rankings down in Texas as well, as TCU only leads Texas Tech 13-10 entering the third quarter. Other than that, within Big Ten play, we see that Iowa's up big, 14 points on Purdue, and that could prove to be a huge game in the Big Ten Western Division because Purdue needs to win and win and win to keep just one game behind Illinois, and then, of course, win that game to overturn the division in their favor. All right. Join us throughout the day. We've got post-game all over the place. Buckeye fans, we're going to have post-game right here on the Ohio State channel after the game. So please join us for post-game after the game. And we've got post-game all over the place with USC and Oregon and Michigan, Florida State, Miami tonight, Clemson, Notre Dame post-game, LSU, Alabama post-game, Iowa post-game after their game against Purdue, Minnesota right now, and Nebraska. We'll have post-game of that on the Nebraska channel, so please join us. And then we all get together late night here, 11:30 p.m. Eastern time after all the primetime games to talk college football with you. Give me a call on our post-game show tonight. We'll be back throughout the day to talk college football and, of course, Georgia, Tennessee. We've got a big eye on that one, and we're going to have to watch this second half with Ohio State, Northwestern. It may go down to the wire. Don't be shocked. This is the setting of upsets and near upsets. The weather conditions, the style of play, it all fits the narrative, even at 38 points. That doesn't matter now. We will see you soon right here at the Voice of College Football.